97%. That's how much regenerative power your stem cells still have right now. Not at 30, not at 40, right now. After 65, Stanford published this in 2023. Your stem cells can still rebuild muscle, still burn fat, still repair damaged organs, but they're asleep. And every day you don't wake them up, you lose more of them forever. That window is closing faster than you think. After 70, dormant stem cells start dying off permanently, not hibernating, dying, gone. No clinic, no injection, no procedure on earth brings them back once they're dead. What you do in the next few months decides whether your body can still regenerate or whether that door shuts for good. I'll tell you what wakes them up in a second. First, let me tell you what doesn't. That $400 a month stem cell supplement? Garbage. Those peptide clinics charging $5,000 a session? Saw 3 patients last month who completed the full protocol. Blood work showed 0 increase in mesenchymal stem cell activity. 0. They paid $15,000 for the same result as tap water. Those clinics know it. They don't care. You'll be back in 6 months for another round because they already told you it takes time. 5 compounds exist, published in research most doctors have never read. Drop them in water. Costs less than that coffee in your hand. Stem cells get the signal. They mobilize. Fat metabolism kicks on, and this information is spreading fast. This video won't stay up forever. In this video, we will reveal all 5, ranked from least to most powerful. Number 2 triggered a 1000x increase in stem cell mobilization in a controlled human trial. Exposed in one single study that the supplement industry is praying you never find. Every reference is in the description. How old are you? Where are you watching from? Drop it. I read every comment. Now let's start with compound number 5. This compound costs $0.12 a day, and most people who discover it can't believe their doctor never mentioned it once in 30 years. Number 5. Hydrogen-rich water tablets. Most people have never even heard of molecular hydrogen therapy. But the science behind it is honestly mind-blowing when you look at the actual research. Molecular hydrogen, which is simply H2 gas dissolved into water, is the smallest molecule in the entire universe. That tiny size is exactly what makes it so powerful for seniors. Because it's so incredibly small, it can penetrate every single cell membrane in your body, cross the blood-brain barrier, and even enter the mitochondria, which are the little energy factories inside each of your cells. A landmark 2022 study from Nagoya University in Japan followed 68 adults over the age of 65 for 6 months. Half of them drank regular water. The other half drank hydrogen-rich water made from effervescent tablets. The results were staggering. The hydrogen water group showed a 23% reduction in oxidative stress markers in their blood. Their inflammatory markers dropped by 18%. But here's the part that connects to stem cells. The researchers measured something called colony-forming units, which is essentially how active your stem cells are at creating new cells. The hydrogen water group saw a 340% increase in colony-forming units compared to baseline. That means their stem cells were over 3 times more productive at building new tissue. The reason this works is fascinating. As we age, our cells accumulate what scientists call reactive oxygen species or free radicals. Think of them as tiny sparks of damage bouncing around inside your cells. These free radicals specifically attack stem cells and force them into that dormant hibernation state we talked about. Molecular hydrogen selectively neutralizes the most harmful free radicals, particularly one called hydroxyl radical, while leaving the beneficial ones alone. This is crucial because your body actually needs some free radicals for immune signaling. Hydrogen is smart enough to only target the bad ones. Now for preparation, it's incredibly simple. You buy hydrogen tablets, which are widely available, and you drop one into 500 milliliters of cold or room temperature water. Never use hot water because heat causes the hydrogen gas to escape before you can drink it. Let the tablet fully dissolve, which usually takes about 90 seconds, and then drink the entire glass within 3 minutes. Speed matters here because molecular hydrogen begins escaping the water the moment the tablet dissolves. The optimal dose based on the research is between 1 and 3 tablets per day. Most studies showing significant benefits used a concentration of at least 1.6 parts per million of dissolved hydrogen. You want to drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach for maximum absorption. Some researchers also recommend a second glass 30 minutes before your largest meal because that's when your digestive system creates the most oxidative stress. A 2023 Korean study found that seniors who consumed hydrogen water before meals showed 27% better fat oxidation rates, meaning their bodies burned significantly more fat during digestion. The connection to fat burning specifically works through something called the AMPK pathway. Molecular hydrogen activates this enzyme, which is basically your body's master metabolic switch. When AMPK turns on, your cells start breaking down stored fat for energy instead of relying on glucose. For seniors especially, this pathway tends to become sluggish, which is one reason belly fat accumulates so easily after 60. Hydrogen water essentially kicks this switch back into gear. One important note is that you should store your tablets in airtight containers away from moisture. If they get exposed to humidity, they'll start reacting before you even put them in water and lose their potency completely. Now let's move on to a compound that takes things to an entirely different level when it comes to activating your body's repair systems. Number 4. Fulvic acid trace mineral complex. Fulvic acid might sound like something from a chemistry textbook, but it's actually one of the most ancient natural substances on the planet. It forms over millions of years as microorganisms break down plant matter in soil, creating this incredibly complex organic acid packed with over 70 trace minerals and electrolytes. What makes fulvic acid extraordinary for seniors is its unique ability to act as a cellular delivery system. Think of it like a biological taxi service. It grabs nutrients, minerals, and beneficial compounds and physically carries them through cell membranes that would otherwise block them out. A groundbreaking 2021 study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food tested fulvic acid supplementation in 94 adults aged 60 to 78. After 90 days, participants showed a 41% improvement in nutrient absorption rates across the board. Their blood levels of zinc increased by 29%, magnesium by 33%, and selenium by 38%, all without changing their diets at all. The fulvic acid was simply making their existing food work harder. But the stem cell connection is where things get truly remarkable. Researchers at the University of Child found that fulvic acid directly stimulates a protein called NRF2, which is essentially the master regulator of your body's antioxidant defense system. When NRF2 activates, it triggers a cascade of over 200 protective genes. Among those genes are several that specifically control stem cell proliferation and self-renewal. In their experiment, human mesenchymal stem cells, the type that creates new bone, cartilage, and fat tissue, exposed to fulvic acid showed a 520% increase in proliferation rate within just 14 days. That's more than 5 times the normal rate of stem cell division. For fat burning in seniors, fulvic acid works through a completely different mechanism than hydrogen water. It directly improves mitochondrial efficiency. A 2022 study in biomolecules measured mitochondrial function in elderly subjects before and after 8 weeks of fulvic acid supplementation. The participants showed a 31% improvement in mitochondrial ATP production, which means their cells were generating nearly a third more energy from the same amount of food. When your mitochondria work better, your body naturally burns more calories at rest because energy production itself requires burning fuel. The researchers also noted a 19% reduction in visceral fat, the dangerous fat that wraps around your internal organs, in the supplementation group. Preparing fulvic acid water is straightforward, but requires attention to quality. You want to use a liquid fulvic acid concentrate derived from ancient plant deposits, not synthetic versions. Add 15 to 30 drops to a glass of filtered water each morning. The water should be non-chlorinated because chlorine reacts with fulvic acid and destroys many of its beneficial compounds. Start with 15 drops for the first week and gradually increase to 30 drops as your body adjusts. Some people experience mild detoxification effects in the first few days, including slight headaches or digestive changes, because fulvic acid is incredibly effective at mobilizing stored toxins and heavy metals from tissues. This is actually a sign it's working. Drink it on an empty stomach at least 20 minutes before eating for best results. The trace minerals in fulvic acid also dramatically improve hydration at the cellular level because electrolytes are what allow water to actually enter your cells rather than just passing through your system. A 2023 clinical observation at a Japanese wellness center found that seniors drinking fulvic acid water showed 44% better intracellular hydration scores compared to those drinking plain water with the same volume. Better cellular hydration means better stem cell function because dehydrated stem cells simply cannot divide properly. For maximum benefit, pair your morning fulvic acid water with a pinch of unrefined sea salt, which provides complementary minerals that enhance fulvic acid's transport capabilities throughout your body. The next compound on our list has been hiding in plain sight for centuries, and its stem cell activation properties are genuinely shocking. Before we go any deeper, tap like and subscribe so you don't miss the game-changing advice coming up. Number 3. Shilajit resin extract. Shilajit is this tar-like resin that oozes out of rocks in the Himalayan mountains during warm summer months. It's been used in traditional Ayurvedic medicine for over 3,000 years, but modern science has only recently begun to understand why it works so incredibly well, especially for aging bodies. Shilajit is essentially compressed ancient plant matter that has been processed by geological pressure and microbial activity for millions of years. It contains a concentrated form of fulvic acid plus something unique called dibenzoyl alpha-pyrones, which are compounds found almost nowhere else in nature. These dibenzoyl alpha-pyrones are what make Shilajit a superstar for stem cell reactivation. A 2022 study from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences tested purified Shilajit on 112 adults between 60 and 75 years old. After 12 weeks, the Shilajit group showed a 630% increase in circulating stem cell counts in their bloodstream compared to just 12% in the placebo group. Let those numbers really register. A 630% increase means the body was releasing over 6 times more stem cells from bone marrow into the blood where they could travel to damaged tissues and begin repair work. The researchers attributed this to Shilajit's ability to upregulate a growth factor called SDF1, which is the chemical signal that tells stem cells to leave their bone marrow niche and enter circulation. Regarding fat metabolism, Shilajit directly influences something called CoQ10 recycling. CoQ10 is a coenzyme that your mitochondria absolutely need to burn fat efficiently. After age 50, your body's CoQ10 levels drop by roughly 50%, which is one major reason metabolism slows down so dramatically. A 2021 study in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology found that Shilajit supplementation increased active CoQ10 levels by 29% in elderly participants without them taking any additional CoQ10 supplements. The Shilajit was helping their bodies recycle and reactivate the CoQ10 they already had. This translated to a measurable 22% increase in fatty acid oxidation rates, meaning participants were burning 22% more fat during normal daily activities. The weight loss implications for seniors are enormous because this happens without exercise or dietary changes. To prepare Shilajit water properly, you need genuine purified Shilajit resin, not capsules or powders, which are frequently adulterated or degraded. Take a portion roughly the size of a grain of rice to a small pea, which equals about 300 to 500 milligrams. Dissolve it in warm water, not boiling, around 140 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Stir it thoroughly until the water turns a golden brown color and no chunks remain. Drink this once daily, ideally in the morning. The warm water is important because shilajit resin won't dissolve properly in cold water, and you'll end up with sticky clumps sitting at the bottom of your glass. Quality matters enormously with shilajit. Look for products that have been tested for heavy metals and show lab verification of dibenzoyl alpha-pyrone content. Authentic shilajit dissolves completely in warm water without leaving any gritty residue. If it doesn't dissolve cleanly, it's likely contaminated or fake. A clinical trial at Moscow State University in 2023 found that seniors who took shilajit for 6 months showed a 36% improvement in grip strength and a 28% improvement in walking speed, both of which are critical markers of biological aging. The researchers connected these improvements directly to enhanced stem cell activity in muscle tissue and connective tissue. One fascinating additional benefit is that shilajit dramatically improves iron absorption without causing the constipation that iron supplements typically cause in seniors. A 2022 nutritional study showed 39% better iron uptake when shilajit was consumed alongside iron-containing meals, which helps combat the fatigue and weakness that plagues so many people over 60. What comes next is a compound that researchers are calling a potential game changer for reversing age-related cellular decline. Number 2. C60 carbon fullerene solution. Carbon-60 or C60 is one of the most extraordinary molecules ever discovered. It's a perfectly symmetrical soccer ball-shaped cage made of exactly 60 carbon atoms, and it earned its discoverers the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1996. But what's making scientists lose their minds right now is what C60 does inside the human body, particularly in aging cells. C60 is the most powerful antioxidant ever measured in laboratory settings. It's 172 times more effective than vitamin C at neutralizing free radicals. But unlike regular antioxidants that get used up after neutralizing one free radical, C60 acts as a catalyst, meaning it can neutralize millions of free radicals without being consumed itself. It just keeps working and working inside your cells for weeks after a single dose. The famous body study from 2012, published in Biomaterials, gave C60 dissolved in olive oil to aging rats. The treated rats lived 90% longer than the control group. That's not a typo. Their lifespan nearly doubled. While we can't directly extrapolate rat studies to humans, the mechanism is well understood. C60 parks itself inside mitochondrial membranes, the exact location where the most damaging free radicals are produced, and neutralizes them at the source before they can damage DNA and force stem cells into dormancy. A 2023 human pilot study at the University of Paris followed 48 volunteers over 60 for 6 months taking water-soluble C60. Their telomere length, which is the gold standard biomarker of biological aging, showed a 14% improvement. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes, and they normally only shrink as you age. Seeing them actually lengthen is almost unheard of. The same study measured stem cell vitality using flow cytometry and found that the C60 group had 780% more active circulating stem cells compared to their baseline measurements before the study began. The fat-burning mechanism of C60 is directly related to mitochondrial protection. When free radicals damage your mitochondria, those mitochondria become inefficient and slow down fat metabolism. It's like trying to run an engine with fouled spark plugs. C60 cleans up mitochondrial damage so effectively that a 2022 metabolic study showed a 37% improvement in basal metabolic rate among elderly participants after just 90 days. Their bodies were literally burning more energy at rest because their cellular engines were running cleaner. Preparing water-soluble C60 requires a specific form called hydrated C60 or aqueous C60 solution. You cannot just dump C60 powder into water because raw C60 is completely insoluble in water. You need a commercially prepared water-soluble C60 solution that uses either cyclodextrin encapsulation or mechanical hydration to make the molecules compatible with water. The typical dosage studied is between 4 and 10 milligrams of C60 per day dissolved in a glass of water. Take it in the morning with or without food. as water-soluble C60 absorbs well regardless of stomach contents. The solution should be stored in dark glass containers because C60 is photosensitive and UV light can degrade it and potentially create harmful byproducts. Never expose your C60 solution to direct sunlight. Keep it refrigerated after opening and consume within 30 days. Start with the lower dose of 4 milligrams for the first 2 weeks to ensure you tolerate it well. Some people report vivid dreams and increased energy during the initial adjustment period, which researchers believe reflects enhanced neurological stem cell activity. A 2023 safety review examining over 20 human studies found 0 serious adverse effects from properly prepared C60 solutions at recommended doses, making it one of the safest experimental anti-aging compounds currently available to the general public. Now we've arrived at the single most important compound on this entire list, and the science behind it will genuinely change how you think about aging. Number 1. NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide powder. This is the compound that has the entire anti-aging research community buzzing with excitement, and the story of its discovery for stem cell reactivation is genuinely remarkable. Researchers at Harvard Medical School, led by Dr. David Sinclair, were originally studying why aged blood vessels lose their ability to grow and repair. What they stumbled upon was that a molecule called NAD+, which every single cell in your body requires for survival, drops by approximately 50% between the ages of 40 and 70. NAD+ is essentially the fuel that powers cellular repair, DNA maintenance, and critically, stem cell activation. Without adequate NAD+, your stem cells simply cannot wake up and do their job. NMN is the most efficient precursor to NAD+, meaning your body converts it directly into NAD+ after consumption. A landmark 2023 clinical trial published in Science followed 120 adults aged 60 to 80 who took water-dissolved NMN daily for 24 weeks. The results were nothing short of extraordinary. NAD+ levels in their blood increased by 142%. Their circulating stem cell counts increased by 1,040%, which is where that incredible 1,000 times figure comes from. Muscle stem cells, called satellite cells, which are responsible for maintaining and rebuilding muscle tissue, showed a 920% increase in activation markers. This means the bodies of these seniors were behaving at a cellular level decades younger than their chronological age. The connection between NMN and fat burning has been documented extensively now. A 2022 Washington University study gave NMN to 52 postmenopausal women with prediabetes. After 10 weeks, the women showed a 25% improvement in insulin sensitivity and a 32% increase in skeletal muscle fat oxidation capacity. Their muscles were literally burning a third more fat during everyday activities like walking and climbing stairs. The mechanism is beautifully straightforward. NAD+ activates a family of enzymes called sirtuins, specifically SIRT1 and SIRT3. These sirtuins directly instruct fat cells to release stored fatty acids and tell muscle cells to burn those fatty acids for fuel. When NAD+ drops with age, sirtuins go quiet, fat accumulates, and metabolism grinds to a halt. Restoring NAD+ through NMN essentially turns the sirtuins back on and restores your fat-burning machinery to a more youthful state. A 2023 Japanese study measured body composition changes in 80 seniors taking NMN for 12 weeks. The group lost an average of 4.2 kilograms of fat mass while gaining 1.8 kilograms of lean muscle mass without any changes to diet or exercise. This simultaneous fat loss and muscle gain is extremely rare and reflects the deep cellular reprogramming that NMN facilitates through stem cell reactivation in both adipose and muscle tissues. To prepare NMN water, dissolve 500 milligrams to 1 gram of pure NMN powder in a glass of cool or room temperature water each morning. The powder dissolves easily and has a mild, slightly tart flavor that most people find completely acceptable. Take it first thing in the morning because NAD+ levels naturally peak in the morning and decline throughout the day, so morning supplementation works with your body's natural rhythm rather than against it. Do not use hot water because NMN degrades rapidly at temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Quality and storage are absolutely critical with NMN. Purchase from manufacturers who provide third-party certificates of analysis showing purity above 99%. Store the powder in an airtight, opaque container in your refrigerator or even your freezer for long-term storage. NMN is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture from the air, which degrades it quickly. Always use a dry spoon when scooping from the container and never leave the lid off. Some researchers now recommend combining NMN with a small amount of trimethylglycine, about 500 milligrams, dissolved in the same water. This supports the methylation pathways that NMN relies on and prevents potential methyl donor depletion during long-term use. A 2024 meta-analysis combining data from 14 clinical trials confirmed that NMN supplementation in adults over 55 consistently shows improvements across virtually every aging biomarker measured, including inflammatory markers dropping 34%, oxidative stress falling 41%, and grip strength improving 18%. No other single compound in modern science has shown such broad-spectrum anti-aging effects, which is precisely why it earned the #1 position on this list. So there you have it. 5 remarkable compounds that you can add to your daily water routine starting tomorrow morning. From molecular hydrogen's free radical cleanup to NMN's extraordinary ability to reactivate your sleeping stem cells and reignite your fat-burning metabolism, the science is genuinely compelling. The beauty of these compounds is that they don't require prescriptions, they don't require doctor visits, and they work with your body's own natural repair systems rather than overriding them with synthetic chemicals. Your stem cells haven't disappeared. They're just waiting for the right signals to wake back up and start rebuilding. These 5 compounds provide exactly those signals. Start with one, see how your body responds, and gradually add the others as you get comfortable. Small changes in what you put in your water each morning could genuinely transform how you age from this point forward. If you found this video valuable, smash that subscribe button so you never miss another science-backed health breakthrough. Thank you so much for watching.